Hi, Dr. Lorne Brown here, Clinical Director of AccuBalance Wellness Center in Vancouver. And I want to share some of the latest and newest updated information that I can share with you on using laser for fertility, also known as photobiomodulation for fertility. And so for the patients that have been experiencing my updated laser baby program, they can sense my excitement, my passion. Some may even say, based on the number of lasers I may be using in a treatment, maybe a little bit of an obsession. However, I'm hoping hoping you're benefiting from my expensive hobby and passion and obsession over photobiomodulation, also known as laser for fertility. So let's talk about the updates of kind of what I'm doing in our treatments, and started doing this in late 2021 and definitely early 2022. It's been a lot of fun as people have been so receptive to experiencing this new updated laser baby program. So first I'll share with you just in general what laser for fertility, what we're thinking and trying to target, and how it can possibly benefit you in optimizing your fertility. And so one of the features are known scientific observations of photobiomodulation or low-level laser therapy is that it can help increase the mitochondrial function on a cellular level, which leads to an increase in energy production. Now, the mitochondria are like the batteries of your cells, and ATP is the energy of the cell. And this is really important when it comes to egg quality, because on that early embryonic development, so when the embryo is dividing, whether it's in your fallopian tube or in the lab, that comes from the mitochondrial health of the woman, from that follicle mitochondrial health. And then also implantation into the uterus requires a lot of energy, and that still comes from the mitochondria. That embryo energy comes from the mitochondria of the woman. And so that's one of the reasons why I got really interested in the potential of low-level laser therapy for fertility. It's been shown to help regulate inflammation. That's why it's used a lot in painful conditions related to inflammation, but it can be related to a lot of health conditions, and including fertility, because chronic systemic inflammation leads to accelerated biological aging and premature degenerative diseases, as well as, I think, premature fertility decline. So when we can regulate inflammation, we're going to improve the overall being and health of the organism, being you, not just your egg cells or sperm cells. It's been shown to help defend cells against damage caused by oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as body rust. And oxidative stress is very damaging to the sperm. They're very subject to that, sensitive to it, as well as the eggs, the follicles. It can improve blood circulation. And so we can have improved blood circulation. This is important when it comes to reproductive health, because as women age, the blood flow to the reproductive system can decrease. So if we're trying to make you as young as possible biologically, one of the ways of doing that is by increasing the blood flow to your reproductive system, which acupuncture and femoral massage can help, as can low-level laser therapy help with that. More blood flow to the ovaries, more nutrients, more oxygen, more hormones. And if you're in a medicated cycle, then more of the medication to your ovaries with the hopes of a better follicular response. And then that blood flow to the uterus, hopefully we get a thicker, richer uterine lining that's receptive to implantation. It's been shown to help speed and tissue healing. It can normalize and soften scar tissue and adhesions. And this is particularly important from earlier surgeries or infections. So for women, think of women that have had laparoscopic surgeries, have had infections like chlamydia, or have been diagnosed with endometriosis, or through certain procedures, they see scar tissue and adhesions in the abdomen, around the ovaries and the uterus. Then again, laser therapy has been shown to help normalize and soften scar tissue. In Fred Kahn, a vascular surgeon out of Toronto, Canada, he was talked about in Norman Doidge's book, The Brain's Way of Healing. And in it, Dr. Fred Kahn talked how he worked with some women that had some adhesions and a lot of abdominal pain, and he was able to treat them, and they would no longer need their surgery because their pain symptoms were reduced so dramatically. Lately, photobiomodulation has been shown to help decrease stress and promote the parasympathetic relaxation response. So they've done it on through putting light on the skull. It can create an altered state, so calmness, joy state, focus state. But they've also used in other parts of the body to engage the vagus nerve and engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest, breed and feed nervous system. So when you think breed, that's reproduction, so pretty important. And when you're under that stress response, even though it's not a survival benefit, but if you're worried about work and life, worried about your fertility treatments, the stress response has no survival benefit to you. And your energy is being mobilized for survival, which means that some of your resources aren't available for healing or not available for creativity, or in our case, for reproduction. And when you can elicit this parasympathetic response, this relaxation response, this does free up your energy for healing, creativity, and in your case, reproduction. It's been shown to decrease edema and swelling. It's been shown to help increase in IVF implantation rates, also increased blastocyst rates. So I interviewed Dr. Nakamura from Japan. This is pre-COVID when I interviewed him, and he had collected already 10 years of data where they looked at women who'd been through some ART cycles, IVF cycles, and then they put them through a series of laser and acupuncture treatments. And these women had an increase, a doubling of how many embryos went to day 5. Hence, they call it a doubling of the blastocyst rate. There's been research showing that photobiomodulation can increase nutritional absorption. Particularly, there's a study done on mice and an increase in CoQ10 absorption. And if it's improving the mitochondrial function on a cellular level, then obviously its ability, the cell's metabolism and its ability to absorb is probably improving from that aspect as well. And more recently, there's been research on the gut microbiome, how photobiomodulation, in particular laser therapy, can improve the gut microbiome. This was research done in conjunction with looking at Parkinson's disease. In Parkinson's, there's improvements in symptoms and other markers when they were treating patients' microbiome. Now, I take this and I think, again, the microbiome has so many implications on our health and disease. And so there's a lot of inflammation that comes from the microbiome and imbalances. So cardiovascular health, mood disorders, digestive health, skin disorders, and there's a connection to the microbiome. So just by improving the microbiome, physically, we can improve your well-being, mentally, your well-being. And then obviously, since we are a system, and we already know that there's a uterus microbiome. We used to think it was sterile, the uterus, that there was nothing, no bacteria there, but now we know there is a microbiome, and that can impact implantation rates. And so by treating the gut microbiome, we're hoping there's a systemic effect that will help other areas, other parts of the microbiome in the body as well, and lead to better overall well-being and fertility. And lastly, there has been more brain photobiomodulation, so transcranial photobiomodulation for disorders like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so this part of the fertility treatment is important because the brain acts like the master and commander of the body. It's involved in reproduction. When you think about it, your brain, the hypothalamus, communicates to the anterior pituitary to release follicle stimulating hormone to the ovaries to get the follicles to grow. And then just before ovulation, LH is released. That causes the final maturation of the follicle and for it to be ruptured, to be ovulated. So the brain does have an involvement through the hypothalamus, pituitary, ovarian, adrenal axis. And so the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, and thyroid organs our glands are involved in that. And so good brain health and well-being, not only do I want you to experience joy and calmness and well-being in your life, but a healthy brain hopefully will lead also to a healthy body. So that's kind of the general overview of laser in general and how I think it's impacting reproductive health. And then in our updated laser baby program, what I wanted to do is I wanted to really do everything we can in one treatment. And so I think with all the lasers I have, this is where my obsession comes in. I have a couple of, I don't just have one laser. I haven't found just one laser that can do everything I wanted to do. So we do have some multiple systems that we use in treatment. In particular, patients that will see me in the updated laser baby program will notice there's a lot more. And what I'm targeting is doing brain photobiomodulation, so transcranial laser therapy We're targeting the gut microbiome. We're targeting the vagus nerve and other parts of the body that will help elicit that parasympathetic nervous system, that relaxation response. Obviously, we're putting photons around and to the ovaries as best as possible. We do that through the abdomen, also the lymph nodes that surround the ovaries and the uterus, as well as increasing blood flow. So using laser acupuncture and photobiomodulation over parts of the body that we know have been shown to increase blood flow to the brain and to the reproductive system, as well as using the photobiomodulation and laser acupuncture along the spine and sacrum, where these nerve roots go to innervate the ovaries and the uterus. So that's kind of our very comprehensive laser for fertility approach that we're doing at AccuBalance, and don't have an official name for it, but right now we're calling it the updated laser baby program that we've updated in early 2022. If you have questions, always contact our clinic and request a complimentary 15-minute discovery call. And please look into adding photobiomodulation as one of the modalities, along with diet and lifestyle and acupuncture and stress reduction, herb supplements, all the things, a very holistic, comprehensive approach to naturally optimize your fertility, or combine it in an ART cycle like IVF. Wishing you the best of luck on your fertility journey.